Hey everybody, you're about to engage in the guidebook unit Hatchet. The purpose of this video is to learn about the North Woods of Canada and what it's like to be there. This knowledge is important because it will help you visualize the setting of the novel and understand the challenges and struggles that its main character Brian faces as he attempts to survive. While you watch today's video, make sure you have your handout and something to write with ready in case we come across any questions. First things first, look at the image on the slide. Think for a moment and imagine you found yourself alone in this setting with no real supplies. What would you do? In order to answer that question, you might need to know a little bit more about where it's taking place. Hatchet takes place in the North Woods of Canada. The main character, Brian, is on his way from Hampton, New York to the oil fields of Canada at the beginning of the book. His plane crashes over the North Woods, and Brian now needs to learn how to survive in the wilderness. In order to better understand Brian's thoughts, feelings, and actions, we need to know more about his setting. So let's see what we can find out. The North Woods are in Canada. Canada is a country that is on the continent of North America. If you look at the map, you can see the entire continent represented. Canada is the country that is in red. You can see that it expands far north and east and west. It borders the North Atlantic Ocean on the east, the North Pacific Ocean on the west, the Arctic Ocean on the north. The United States borders Canada in the south. It's right below it on the map. Keep in mind that Canada is slightly larger than the United States. If you were to travel across North America, especially in Canada, you would find many large forest regions. One of these regions is called the North Woods. If you look at this map, the North Woods are in the yellow circle. See how it takes up about 1/3 of Canada's land area? Wow. In the novel Hatchet, the main character Brian finds himself lost in the North Woods. He finds himself in this circled area. So, what can he find in this area? Well, depending on where you are in the North Woods, it can look really different. Because the North Woods cover such a large area, many different features are represented there. These features include mountains, plains, lakes and ocean waters, marshlands, and sand dunes. Because the North Woods of Canada take up so much of the land, Canada has low population density. So that means that because they're so large, not many people live very close together. Here are some things that you might find there, though. They're full of different plants and animals. If you spent time in the North Woods, you may find animals like moose or brown, black, and grizzly bears, wolves, raccoons, ducks, birds, turtles, fish, and even porcupine. These are just a few of the animals you might encounter in the North Woods. Some of these animals could be very helpful in surviving. For example, you could eat eggs from a duck or a turtle, or cook and eat the meat from a bird, or eat a fish. On the other hand, many of these animals might put you in serious danger. Bears and wolves have the potential to attack a person, and animals like raccoons and porcupines might try to take away any food supplies that you have saved up. At this time, pause to answer the question on your handout. When you are ready to continue, press play. To review, because the North Woods cover such a large part of the country, many of it is unpredictable. We've talked about the animals, we've talked about the landscape. Now let's talk about the weather. The weather can vary greatly from place to place and from season to season. Typically, the winters are long and can be very severe. There can be up to 6 months of weather that is below freezing. That is really cold. The summers are short and generally cool, but the temperature can rise up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. This extreme weather could impact a person living in the North Woods because he would need to be prepared to face the extremes of both the winter and the summer. In the novel Hatchet, Brian finds himself in the North Woods in the summer, so he has to face the challenges of extreme heat as well as cool temperatures. The North Woods can also experience very intense thunderstorms. These thunderstorms can lead to tornadoes. Tornadoes provide a real threat in the North Woods. Tornado season lasts from April until October, with most tornadoes occurring in July. These tornadoes can be quite dangerous and can cause a great deal of damage. For a person to survive in the North Woods, he would need shelter that could stand up to the thunderstorms and tornadoes. At this time, pause the video to answer any relevant questions on your handout. Press play when you are ready to continue. Understanding what the North Woods of Canada are like is important for understanding Brian's thoughts, feelings, and actions as he tries to survive in the wilderness. You now have new knowledge about the Great Woods that will greatly help you read Hatchet. When you finish this video, be sure to double check your notes and make sure you have all relevant questions answered. You are now an expert on the setting of Hatchet.